President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a three-way summit with Jordanian King Abdullah II and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Cairo on Thursday.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi hosted Jordanian King Abdullah II and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas for a three-way summit in Cairo on Thursday. The three leaders held a closed meeting before being joined by the delegations from the three countries. Presidential spokesman said that the summit aimed at unifying stances regarding the Palestinian cause. During the talks, President al-Sisi stressed the significance of giving the Palestinian people the full legitimate rights. For their part, the Jordanian and the Palestinian leaders hailed Egypt's role in backing Palestinian cause and consolidating the Palestinian-Israeli truce. Ahead of the three-way summit, President al-Sisi held bilateral talks with both the Jordanian and the Palestinian leaders. During the talks with the Jordanian monarch, President al-Sisi hailed the strong Egyptian-Jordanian relations and expressed for strengthening cooperation in all fields, especially the trade and economy, whether at the bilateral level or through the way cooperation mechanism with Iraq. He hailed the efforts exerted by the Jordanian government for serving and taking care of the Egyptian community in Jordan. For his part, the Jordanian king called for capitalizing on the Egyptian leading experience in various developmental fields through exchanging expertise and the joint investment in light of the comprehensive development path and the mega projects being currently implemented in Egypt. King Abdullah expressed appreciation to Egypt both on the formal and the popular levels as an extension of the extended links that bind the two nations. He hailed Egypt's efforts to maintain the ceasefire between the Palestinians and the Israelis, calling for intensifying the international efforts with the aim of resuming peace talks in order to settle the Palestinian crisis within the framework of the international legitimate resolutions. The two leaders discussed the latest regional developments, especially the situation in Lebanon and the Middle East peace process, as well as Egypt's initiative to reconstruct Gaza and the current efforts to resume the stalled peace negotiations between the Palestinians and the Israeli side. During the meeting, the two leaders also probed the ways to enhance trade and economic cooperation, in addition to the two countries' joint cooperation in combating the coronavirus pandemic and facing the repercussions. Earlier in the day, President al-Sisi met with the Palestinian president at Al-Ittihadiyya Palace for talks that covered the latest developments in the Palestinian-occupied territories. The head of state vowed that Egypt would continue the backing of the Palestinian people to regain the legitimate rights in line with the relevant international resolutions. President al-Sisi also called for consolidating the Palestinian-Israeli truce and to resume peace talks while achieving the Palestinian reconciliation among all the factions.
Egypt hosted on Thursday a joint multinational military drill dubbed the Bright Star between the 2nd and 17th of September. Up to 21 countries participates in the exercise. The drill, which was first held in the early 90s, will take place in Egypt on a regular basis. The U.S. Central Command has said it was looking forward to continue the decades-long training relationship with Egypt. Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs, Dr. Awad Tajuddin, said the unvaccinated civil servants would not be allowed to go to work without receiving coronavirus vaccine. In a television remark, Tajuddin said the inoculating school students is now mandatory as part directives of President al-Sisi, adding that the Ministry of Health is preparing a plan to implement such a decree over the coming period. He added that daily infections had exceeded 200 people, noting that many of them suffered from serious symptoms and needed intensive care, although the number of deaths is so far limited. The senior health official confirmed the series of the new variant Mu that has spread in the number of countries, revealing that the Delta variant is highly transmissible but less dangerous. Egypt reported on Wednesday 291 coronavirus infections, bringing the total number of cases to 288,732 people since the outbreak hit the country in mid-February last year.